Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Topics After Dusk with your girls D and Lida. I am D, and Lida is not here right now. But hey, it is our normal Faith It Friday night, so I wanted to make sure that we came on for Faith It Friday. Absolutely. So our guests did not pan out. I've been waiting for confirmation and have yet to receive. So, but hey, it's all good because guess what? No matter what happens, one of us will be here. And so here I am. And yes, it is Faith It Friday. Good evening, Mother dear. Right when you sent the text, I was pressing live. So I couldn't switch because I'm on this phone and, it just, something happens when I try to get out of it. So let's see. So this Faith It Friday is with M.A.D Faith, making a decision type of faith. Hmm. As I was doing some research, I was like, okay, how can I tie in Faith It Friday and making a decision? And so here we are. And the things that I came up with or came across, I was like, ooh, mm, I hadn't looked at it that way. Very interesting. Well, it is. I'm glad to be seen, honey. Glad to be seen. So let me get these preliminary things out of the way. Do our commercial, what have you. As you know, it is March and it is March Madness. Are you mad? Making a decision. I should change that to MADD. Are you making a decision daily? That is the question. So we've talked about so many different things. Now, if you would like to be a guest on Faith It Friday, you can be a business person, you can be a regular person. Do you have a story to tell about your faith walk? If that describes you, then we want you on the show. Go to bit.ly/Faith It Friday guest. We have a guest for next Friday, and we also have a guest for the following Friday, March 26th. So we are now moving into April. Yes, we're moving into April. So in this season, I'm not sure what it is. Maybe because we're leaving out of the dormant season, the winter season, and going into spring. I've sent messages out to ask some people that I feel have, from what they show us on social media, that they have a wonderful faith walk story to tell. But when you say, hey, will you come on my show, on my live, crickets. Yes, crickets. Or a resounding, oh no, I'm not ready to do that. It's like, what? Why not? But okay, that's fine. But if you are not afraid, not ashamed, because guess what? It's just us in the room, and those that are watching live or whatnot are just privy to the conversation. So it's just the two of us, the three of us here in the room, and then it get broadcast. Super simple, right? There's no one that's actually looking at you physically. Their body isn't in the room with you, but that's neither here nor there. So go to bit.ly/Faith It Friday guests. There's some questions that we ask, fill out that information, and then we decide, we work together to decide which Friday works best for you. All right, so what else do we have? You can connect with us at purposetofreedom.com. You get access to our YouTube channel. You get access to joining our tribe, Growth to Freedom. You'll get access to our Facebook page, even my podcast, Fit to Freedom with a Dose of D. What else is on there? our wealth solution. If you're interested in learning more about our wealth solution, you have access to that as well. Last but certainly not least, if you would like to donate to our broadcast, um, you have an opportunity to do that by going to paypal.me/purpose to freedom or cash out $ Darlene Anthony for to show your support of the broadcast. We are so grateful for those that have donated to the broadcast. Hey, Shamitra, you see, she said, I have the caption on, so I'm reading this. Oh, that is awesome. Glad you can see. I hope it is properly translating my words. I was teaching an English class. Well, I wasn't really teaching, I was just reading. And I had the captions on, and the some of the words just didn't work right. I don't know if it's my accent that I don't think I have or what, but whatever they say. I was like, that's not what I said. What are you typing? But for those of you that are just now joining the broadcast, thank you so much for tuning in. Type something in the chat and say, hey, how you doing? I'm here for Faith Friday so that I can definitely acknowledge your presence. Share this out, heart this up. If something resonates with you, type in the chat so I'll know that, hey, you said something that just pricked my heart, or you didn't rolled over my toe, or whatever it is. But for those that don't know me, for my current live watchers or my replay watchers, my name is Darlene Anthony, better known as D. I am your number one money mindset maven. Highlight mindset. I help you to discover a growth mindset while building confidence, one solution at a time. We are mentoring minds to appreciate critical thinking skills while building knowledge and confidence. Hey, Tamika, how are you doing? I am all about helping families to get rid of that stinking thinking, those conditioned traditions of lack of um, bad health choices and a horrible mindset so that you can build your unique future, your unique idea of what life should be about for your generations to come. So let's get into this content. Doing really well, doing really well. Um, so Faith It Friday with making a decision type faith. So, as I was going through the research on this, I came across this article that talked about um, it used the parting of the Red Sea, the Egyptians and the Israelites, and when they came to the Red Sea, how making a decision was vital. But as I was going through it, I was like, oh my goodness, we go through stuff like this all the time, right? We go through stuff like this all the time. So faith and decision making seem like it could be an awkward mix, right? We're trying to make a sound decision and we have the nerve to, you know, activate our faith on it. Because some people, most people, does and they do an analysis or a risk assessment on any decisions that they're making if they're going to do something logically right. That seems to be the best tools for making a decision. And faith for some people just seems so irrational, right? So irrational. It's like a perceived irrational mindset to leave something in the hands of someone else, right? And it could cause some very catastrophic results. But parting of the Red Sea might lead to a different understanding, a different conclusion. So this is the fun. I was like, oh my goodness, I get it. I understand. There are four different ideas that come about in the parting of the Red Sea, and that whole scene, that whole um, dialogue activity, whatever you want to call it, the things that happened at the Red Sea and what the Israelites were up against So they were going out into the wilderness, for those of you that don't know the story. They had been in captivity in Egypt, and God told Moses to go to Pharaoh and tell him to let my people go. Pharaoh was going to do it. Then he was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. And what comes next? The 10 plagues. And so Moses, they go through all the 10 plagues. And finally, after he lost his firstborn son, he was like, get those people out of here. We got to roll out. They got to go. But then God hardens Pharaoh's heart. And then he says, you know what? I let all them people go. What am I going to do now? So he went after the Israelites, and here they are, Pharaoh and his chariots and army and all of that behind them. The Israelites then had the Red Sea in front of them, and it seemed to be a can't get out of type of situation. They were like, I don't want to go back to that, but I definitely don't want to drown trying to live a better life or to live after this God that you're telling me is telling us to go and do this, right? So there were four different things that happened during this time, or four different ideas. So they were like, we can throw ourselves into the sea. Now, our ancestors, Black folk, many, instead of being having to deal with slavery, they decided I would rather die in the sea than to be somebody else's slave. And so the Atlantic Ocean is full of the spirits of those from Africa that said, you know what, I'm not going to be nobody's slave. I would rather die. But they said, we will throw ourselves into the sea. We refuse to even tackle reality. Okay. My guest, close the door behind you, please. Thank you so much. He comes in and just leaves the door wide open and everything going on out there. He said, we'll just let it go, ignore what's happening. We're not going to make no decisions. We're just going to keep on going. Pretty much like bury our head in the sand. Like we don't have a choice in what's going on. But you do have a choice. Or you can go back to Egypt and to slavery. So you're left with these type of decisions. Throw ourselves into the sea. Go back to Egypt and to slavery, because that is an inescapable destiny. Hold on. But that's like pragmatic behavior, right? We're not trying to shape reality. We're just, whatever happens, it's just meant to be. It's just going to happen. There's nothing I can do about it. However it goes, we just have to deal or play the hand we're dealt with, right? But remember, you have a choice. You definitely have a choice. The third option was to, hey, let's square up. We just gonna have to fight these Egyptians. Now that's a little bit, irrational, because I don't think they had any tools or things to, join in this fight. Yeah, they did have God on their side, but there was no tools. Excuse me. And then we become aggressive. But then number 4, praying to God. But sometimes how many of you just start praying once you get into a tight situation? Any me's in the room? You wait until you get into a super tight situation, and then you starting to, oh Lord, if you get me out of this mess right here, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. If you get it, this time, God, Lord, this time. Okay, tell the truth and shame the devil. But what would happen if you believe and pray before anything happens? Then you're just having a conversation and said, all right, I've done X, Y, Z, 1, 2, and 3. Now, here we are. Because at that point, it's like, you know what? It ain't got nothing to do with me anymore. I'm going to blame my boss for the issues that I'm having. I'm going to blame the company. I'm going to blame the government. I'm going to not even address my part in the situation. I'm just going to put it off on somebody else. I know. Go to him before, not when you're in dire need. But all these 4 different responses, which one of those have you come across? One, you're just going to throw yourself at the sea. I'm going to put my head in the sand, act like ain't nothing happened. Or I'm just going to give up. I ain't doing it. Or another way of giving up is going back to the situation that you're trying to get out of. And, it wasn't so bad. We were eating in Egypt. We had to work, yeah, but we had somewhere to live. We had somewhere to sleep. We were working. We had to worry about all this stuff, right? So we just gonna go back and we just gonna say, this is the life I'm supposed to have. So that's what I'm gonna do. Or you want to fight the Egyptians or fight your Egyptian, be a part of some irrational behavior and become aggressive. Being aggressive sometimes doesn't always, solve the problem. Or as a last result, you decide, I'm going to pray to God and put it all on somebody else and say, these people that's doing this, that, and the third, and not taking ownership. But this is the crazy part, the funny part, the most interesting part. This is, in Exodus 14 and 15. God answers Moses' prayer. And he says, why are you crying out to me? I read that. I was like, wait, what? Why are you crying out to me? Just keep moving. That's what God is telling you when you're making a decision. Oh, this is good. Where's my sister? Put her on this live. I think she's at work. Just keep moving. Keep moving on. The goal is to move towards the promised land, whatever your promised land is for your life. Of course, the goal is to, get to heaven and everything, but you can have heaven right here on earth. I got heaven right here on earth. I got heaven right here on earth. Right? Right? You know the direction of the promised land. Okay, Shamitra, see you tomorrow. Love you too. Take care of yourself. Just keep moving. Don't be concerned about the sea. Don't be concerned about the mountain. Don't be concerned about the obstacles. Because either you might be able to swim in the sea or get some type of life boat, life raft, life something, lifesaver. I'm like, what am I trying to say? You can either climb over the obstacles or go around the obstacles or just tread through the obstacles. But you can always make one more step in the right direction. So like Nike say, just do it. Just do it. Yes, get mad. We're getting mad here at Freedom Growers. We are getting mad. We are making a decision. Whatever decision it is that you need to make, whether it's financial, whether it's health-wise, whether it's changing your thinking, whatever your decision is, make it with faith. Make the decision with faith that it is the right one. Excuse me. And let's see. I'm going to hold you guys just a few more moments because this part right here just hit me. You might get wet in your decision, but you're just that much closer to your goal. Just do it. You might get wet on your way to the sea, but just keep going. The water just might move out of your way. Real faith is actually tackling reality. Real faith is actually tackling reality. No matter what it looks like in your reality, faith says, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to keep pressing forward. I'm going to do that thing that I so desire to get to that promised land, to get to that idea, to complete that idea. Now I'm talking to me because I've put so many ideas, so many dreams to the side, so many just visions. I've just said, you know what, I'm going to put this to the side because I let thoughts get in the way. My perception of what might happen get in the way. My, those, how they call them ants, another negative thought syndrome. They're up here. And I too have to fight them daily to say, you know what? I'm not going to let another negative thought come in. I have to push forward. No matter what it looks like, I have to push. I have to have enough faith to say, I'm going to keep going. I might get wet. That's okay. Water ain't going to hurt. It can touch my body. I just can't get it too much in the inside. It can touch my body. But if I'm wet, that means I've been through. If I'm just wet, I've been through the storm, but I'm coming out of wet and all. Push forward. Absolutely. Push forward. We don't have to understand everything. The what we have to define. The how is really none of our business. The when is really none of our business. We're only responsible for the what and the why, really. We have to know what we are doing and then be solid in why we are doing it. The how it's going to get done is really none of our business. We just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep going because God said, keep moving on. Fall forward, fail. You'll get closer to your success. Make a mistake. You can figure out what's going wrong, but staying in the same spot, going back to your past, going back to Egypt. Who want to go back to Egypt and live like that when you were called to be so much more? Push forward. And just like Moses, you got the tools that you need in your hand. What did God tell him? You see that in your hand? Stretch it forth. And what happened? Those waters moved, honey. Those waters got up out the way. If we do our part, we all, people always say, oh, I'm waiting on God to tell me thus and so. He already has. He's waiting on you to move. He's waiting on you to make the decision to just do it. Faith can help us make better decisions. Faith empowers us with the humility of our human condition. Faith empowers us to deal with reality and to do our part of the deal, and opens us up to the hope that God will do his part as well. Sometimes we are waiting on God to do something, and God is waiting on us to do it. The windows of heaven are open. Are we ready to receive? Are we doing what we need to do to receive? That, my friends, is the question. Do you have make a decision faith? Are you going to just throw yourself to the sea? Are you going to go back to Egypt, to your problems, to your situations that's been keeping you stuck? Excuse me. Are you going to just do some irrational stuff and just fight everybody, fight the Egyptians with no tools? You don't have nothing, no weapons, no nothing. You just going in just all willy-nilly. Are you praying to God on your last leg because now you're at the end of the rope and all I got to do now is pray to God. That's all I got left. When that's really what you're supposed to do first. And what God is telling you, just keep on moving. I gave you the thought. It's your turn to do the execution. He says, while you're waiting on me, I'm waiting on you. Because you can't get to what I got for you. Let's see, so let's say you're right here. And what God has for you is right here. He said, I'm not going to move. You got to make the move towards me. Are you going to make the move towards what he got for you? Or are you going to stay here? This is where your stuff is. This is where what God has for you. But you're stuck here. What's it gonna be? Just wondering. It is make a decision faith for Faith at Friday. Have mad faith. Do you have it? I had it and lost it. We have to make the steps. Absolutely. We have to make the steps to get closer and closer. All we have to do is just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Make the small decision to say, you know what, I'm going to do it. And then just start. If you got to take baby steps, just don't stay in the same spot. Don't stay in the same spot. This time next year, should look different from today. Your 365 days from today should be different from today because you have made some steps. Are you stepping? Are you stepping? God's already got it for you. It's already yours. It's already here. You just got to go towards it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that you have gotten something. Yes, that's right. You received something out of the talk tonight, our special Faith It Friday edition, M.A.D Faith. Do you have it? My M.A.D Faith is getting stronger and stronger on the daily. And so much is coming to fruition because I am making the necessary steps. I'm not throwing myself in the sea. I refuse to go back to what was. I ain't gonna be irrational and fight nobody. And I ain't gonna do no desperate prayer to God because I've already prayed to him and asked him for what I want. And now I'm working towards those desires if it's in his will. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your presence and your interaction with Freedom Growers. We will see you guys again next week for another episode of Topics After Dusk with D and Lida. Next Friday, we will have another hitter for Faith It Friday. It won't just be D or Lida or D and Lida. We definitely have an amazing guest the next 2 weeks. Remember, April is open. I will be sharing personally my faith walk. I have no idea what that's going to look like, but I will be sharing my faith walk next month. It's my birthday month. So I said, well, let's go ahead. Thank you, Mom. Good food for thought. And I tonight was one of those nights. We needed some food for thought, definitely. So you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we will catch you guys again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. After Dusk. Bye.